My desk is a mess as usual, so I'm just gonna go with it. This is where I work all the time. Sometimes I completely clean it up with new paper underneath and everything. I think I want these pages to be really distressed. And the way I normally do things, I don't mind grabbing every page with this distress ink. I have found that no matter what you do on subsequent pages, it doesn't really mess anything up, in my opinion. Now, I don't want to get over here on some of our pages that we've already done, because I don't want to get on any of that fabric too much. A little bit is okay. Again, I just think it makes it pretty. Let's get a paintbrush that has water on it, and I've already got fresh water out this morning for this. I've got so many things I want to do today. I have to be back at work tomorrow, and that always decreases the amount of time I have here in the studio. I worked in my art studio outside a little bit yesterday, just continuing to add some new things and cleaning up and sorting and actually just enjoying it. I love being out there. I tell you, one thing we might do on this page is see if the alcohol ink affects the metal in that clip. So when I distress a page, I use a lot of distress ink. These ink pads are invaluable. They last for so long, and I'm pretty rough with my art supplies in a good way. I don't try to mistreat them. I just really use them, and I have found that this has been one of the best things I've ever purchased. I have, I think, 3 different colors at this point. There are some other colors I want to try. Okay, so let's just see if I put alcohol ink on this, if it'll stain it up. Of course, I'm going to get it on my hands. That's what else is new. I do think that'll stay. Let's take the brush and see if that soaks in at all. I bet you have to let it sit for a little while. But that's one of the things. Alcohol ink is supposed to be good for non-porous surfaces. So we will just let that stay like that. And if it goes through to other things, so be it. This is our journal where we just play. Part of today's spread is going to be just found objects. I do have a couple of things I want to put in here to remember. What do I want to use? Maybe I'll use my Mod Podge. I like the way that turned out. So when you experiment with things, don't be afraid. Usually you will come out with something that you can work with in some fashion. And with paper and water, at the very least, you're going to get some nice crinkly pages. So let's put that down there. Let's see if we can get that to lay down. I do like that. I think that's really pretty. I think I'm going to use this old tag off of the bag that had the decoupage butterflies in it that we used on the last spread. So I'm just going to staple this into place. Without staples. Where are my staplers? What color do we want? Maybe those gold ones. They're not going to show up that much once you just get one little individual staple on the page anyway. I say that, now watch me be totally wrong. So let's put that right there. Let's see what went through on this side. Really, it didn't go all the way through, but I like the way it's turned that blue. It matches this. That's really, really nice. This is too big for this page, and these holes might be off just a tiny bit, but that would be something that would be fun to use on a larger spread. We could take all of this apart and use something under the clip on this side. I think maybe we should do that. Which I could cut this down actually. What if I went straight down the side? Cut a little more. And then we need to distress the edges because we've cut part of that coloring off. And we could round the edges if we wanted to. I'm not, well, I say that. Let's cut just a tiny bit off. Sometimes even the tiniest amount will make a page easier to deal with. So this piece is not going to be wide enough to get underneath those prongs. I'm going to staple this onto the card, and then let's see where we need to punch holes to put this whole thing under that fastener. So we got to go back on this side and take everything off. But that's going to be really, really pretty, I think. So let's put that under there. Oh, I love that blue. So that'll be on that side, and then let's put this back and this. I wondered if this would go, but I like it better underneath. So then we get over to this side, and we have a really, really pretty page. We can write under here, and we can also write under here. And I do have a lot of writing I want to do today. Just catching up, you know, the way I feel about the journal and what's been going on with different areas of my life and work and things like that. So I might not put all of that part on the video. I did several things while the camera was not running. I did put my journal entry in, and I love the way it's kind of hidden. Actually, that reminds me of something I need to do. I want to put a 2 right here because underneath here is an entry, and that's the first part. I had numbered that as the first page, and then this is the second page. So we have this beautiful image. This has been stained blue. I think that's going to take. I'm just going to leave it alone. You can see a little bit came off on this page, but I like that. I think it's just even prettier. We have this image from our experimentation, making distressed looking ephemera. I mentioned that this was going to be about found objects as well. I love this label, so we've included that. And this was a bag from Starbucks. I picked up some banana nut bread with my coffee the other day. They have the best. My sister and I both love that, and she texted me yesterday and said, "Guess what I'm eating?" And of course, that makes me want to go get some, and I do the same thing to her. Anyway, another found object is this tag that came off of a recent scarf that I found. And I love it. It's so pretty. It's this really pretty peachy color. I don't wear a lot of peach, actually. Let me show you. This one is a little different. It's got the white and the blue in it and a little bit of silver. And I guess that's more on the pink side of peach. I don't really wear a lot of orange or yellow, so some peach colors I don't really care for. But there was the most beautiful tag in that shawl or scarf. "Do everything in love" is the little tagline there. So I didn't want to see the washing instructions and have that be part of the journal, but I kept this label pretty much intact. I didn't glue over my words. I could leave that on top there, actually. And then on this side we have the same thing. I just took 2 little scraps of fabric and sewed squares over the washing or care instructions. So the last thing I'm going to do on this page is to put the date in. I'm going to use some of my stamp the numbers and letters set that I have. I can't believe it's the last day of April. Separate those a little bit because I don't have a dash with this set. So it's the 30th and it's 2019. Try not to press too hard. I know if you do, you get the lines in the stamp. That's okay though, I think. If you do get that with something that's a little bit water soluble, you can go back with a brush and fix it a little bit. You don't want that line there. Kind of get rid of that. And that as well. So it's 4/30/19. I'm going to say that I'm done with this page, and as with every other page, as the journal goes on, we will continue to add things. Now, I have a couple of things I want to share, and I am just so overjoyed that some of you have sent me pages from what you've been doing. I wanted to share a couple of pages from Sandra's journal that she's been working on, and I have been just blown away. Jay has sent me pictures and Sandra has sent me pictures. Now, if anybody else has sent me anything that I haven't seen or that somehow didn't get to me, please let me know. I'm not just choosing the ones that I like to put on here. I want to share everybody's work. So Jay and I were talking, and she's got this amazing poem, and it was something she had written that tied right in with those moon charms that we had. This poem is so clever. It is called Moonstruck Lunatic Cow by Jay Hart. And Jay, I put that there so I could remember this. I printed this for my personal journal. The Cow Jumped Over the Moon is a poem and a tune that inspired another cow to be moon-stricken. She said, "I'm not a gutless, cowardly chicken. I have 4 stomachs and courage to try to leap, vault, and fly into the sky. But I may be mad as a hatter to use a fence as a ladder. 3 hooves climbed the rungs, and the 4th hoof kicked the top rail to gain momentum. She bounced off a cloud and headed upward. Her plan would have worked, but for a miscalculation of the movement around the earth in the moon's rotation. As the cow rose, so the moon rose. Instead of sailing over like a cow rocket, She landed in a crater like a moon pocket. Moon struck, then struck the moon. Not convexed, she lowed. I'm not in a concave mood. And while I'm here, I'll check out that old saying that the moon is made of green cheese. It's not true. Achoo! A sneeze. It's just dust which everywhere is laying. Content in her new home, she called La Lune, the cow loony for the moon. Is that not incredible? I love this poem. You know, it's just, I wish I could go back and share it, especially with one of my English professors. She would have loved that poem. And I love it. And Jay, thank you so much for sharing that. I'm going to fix that up to slip into the pages of this journal so that I don't ever lose that. I think these are going to inspire everybody. The poetry, the pictures, and I just love this community that's growing. Everyone is so kind. It's just such a nice way to hang out together. Okay, I'm going to wrap this up and I will be back with more videos for future pages. We've still got quite a ways to go, but that's okay. We just will keep trying new things, and I hope this is inspiring everyone. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon. Bye for now.